You know, one of my favorite modes of transportation around Walt Disney World is the boats. Whether it's the ferry that takes you from tickets and transportation all the way over to the Magic Kingdom, or the cruisers that handle Fort Wilderness and the Wilderness Lodge. And let's not forget the friendships that handle traffic between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and then within Epcot itself. But today I want to talk about one of my favorites, the Sassagoula Steamboat Company. Now, like everything else in Disney, there has to be a backstory, and the Sassagoula Steamboat Company has one. See, the boats are made right here at the Boatwrights at Port Orleans Riverside, inside the Boatwrights factory. Here they make all styles of rivercraft, whether it's the Orlando, the Seminole, or even the mighty Sassagoula Steamboat itself. These boats ply their trade on the mighty Sassagoula River, another Native American name for the Mississippi. And whether it's hauling freight or passengers from their ornate stations inside with destinations like Baton Rouge, Riverside, the French Quarter, it all comes down to one thing. It's really all about hauling goods and people, well, to the marketplace. So where do these boats really come from? Well, Monticello, Arkansas. A company called Sea Ark, which is a division of Correctcraft right here in Orlando. You see, you start with their flat-bottom commercial utility boat, either 20 or 26 feet long. You add a couple of Mercruiser stern-drive motors, a standard console right out of the catalog, and then, of course, you have to add the stainless steel steering wheel with suicide knob. From there, the Disney Imagineers take over and build it into this kind of a console, while also putting on a passenger compartment that will hold either 32 or 37 guests. See, Sea Ark's flat-bottom design makes it perfect for heading up the 2.5 miles of Sassagoula's shallow waters. How do I know it's 2.5 miles? Well, that's how long Disney built it. Yep, it's completely man-made. The main channel is a constant level canal that goes all the way from Riverside down to Disney Springs. And there are also two side channels, one that goes to Old Key West, and the other one with the Do Not Enter signs that heads over to maintenance and the dry dock area. And for those of you who are wondering, that's also where they put the pontoon boats and the sea racer boats that you used to be able to rent at downtown Disney before it became Disney Springs. Now, each of the 16 boats has its own name and number, except for number 16, which currently doesn't have a name. And really, any of the boats can be used on any one of the lines there. If you want to tell where they're going, you need to look at the pennants. You see, the yellow pennants are headed towards Riverside, and the purple pennants are headed over towards French Quarter. And the split pennant? Well, that's going to make stops at both. The red pennant, on the other hand, is just for within Disney Springs. It'll take you across Lake Buena Vista, all the way from one side to the other. Now, to see the next two pennants in action, we have to go over to the landing. That's the dock between Paradiso 37 and Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. Because at the landing, they have two separate resort lines, in addition to the Disney Springs boats. The first ones are the blue pennants, and they service Saratoga Springs and the Treehouses. You can also hop aboard one of the green pennant boats. These are headed to Old Key West Resort. So let's take a look at the docks, and we'll start with the Marketplace dock at Disney Springs. This covers the boats on the east side of Disney Springs, and it's also where the boats from Port Orleans dock. From here, you can catch a red pennant boat all the way over to the west side, right near House of Blues. And if you're going to make a return trip, you'll be stopping off right in the middle at the landing. Now, if you're headed upriver, the first stop will be on the Blue Line over at Saratoga Springs, with a second stop at the Treehouse. But this is a special call. You have to let them know you're going there. Oh, and I forgot to mention the Pirate Pennant. This boat can go anywhere it's really needed. It's just an extra boat on the line. So, let's talk about the boat ride upriver headed towards the Port Orleans resorts. These boats can take you on an enjoyable, relaxing tour straight up the Sassagoula. Just at the end of Lake Buena Vista, you'll pass by Saratoga Springs dock on the right-hand side. And after passing the resort's golf bridge, you leave the hustle and bustle of Disney Springs behind you. Next up on the right-hand side are Disney's Treehouse Villas Resort. This is attached to Saratoga Springs. And we had a great time when we stayed there, just sitting on the deck, watching the boats head up to Port Orleans and back again. Now, the first stop on our split pennant tour is going to be at Port Orleans French Quarter. Yeah, the dock here itself is reminiscent of the French Quarter with the ornate wrought iron handrails along the steps that'll take you down to the dock. Unless you're in a wheelchair, in which case you got the ramp that goes on forever. And since we've mentioned the ramps, I might as well talk about disabled boarding procedures. Much like the monorail, a ramp is used to bridge the gap between the dock and the boat itself. But I gotta be honest, at the landings, I pretty much could have driven right on there. It was just a small gap. But over at Old Key West, man, I had problems getting up that ramp because of the height difference. Now, each boat has 3 separate handicap positions that they can use, but they usually only use 2. They all have fold-up seats to use when there's no wheelchairs. And then you're underway. As they travel, the pilots will follow the white channel markers, complete with lights for nighttime operation. And the pilots really do care about the Sassagoula River, stopping to take trash out anytime they spot it floating. It was this same pilot on a different trip that told me all about the birdhouses on the side where the purple martins live. It may not seem like much, but along with the fish feeder further down towards the tree houses, these are keys to Disney's control of the insects along the swampy Sassagoula River. But we're almost there. With one final turn, we head into the Riverside dock. And so completes our journey up the Sassagoula River. As we dock in Riverside, we could head up and do some shopping. But for now, let's head back over to Disney Springs, where we'll take another boat over to Old Key West to see what that part of the Sassagoula River looks like. But in order to do that, we'll have to head over to the dock at the landing and wait in the queue line. Luckily, it was late October, so it was only 80 degrees outside. On a Sunday afternoon in Lake Buena Vista, you can encounter some pretty odd traffic out there, not to mention some heavy steamboat traffic itself. But once you pass under the bridge headed into the Old Key West Canal itself, it gets kind of peaceful out there. It's just you and nature and the Sassagoula Steamboat Company. And pretty soon, you're welcomed home. Well, it was the first DVC resort. Then all we do is pass the volleyball court and the pool.
As we come into the dock, please keep your hands, arms, legs, feet inside the boat until we're giving you an all clear. If you're sitting, remain seated. If you're standing, hold on to the handrails.
All there's left for me to do is follow the ramp. And I thought the ramp over at French Quarter was long. I really hate to leave you guys this way, but we've got reservations at Olivia's for lunch, so you guys can find your way back, right? Emmy, wait. Okay, go ahead. And Emmy will go ahead, looking for your likes and comments. And I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, If you enjoyed the video, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And when you subscribe, don't forget to click on that bell icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Old Key West.
Key West? Okay.
I should hurry, Jean. She's holding the door open. You didn't have, thank you. You didn't have to do that. I love ramming the gates.